Today is National Grief Awareness Day, but the passing of a loved one isn't the only way to experience grief. How do you handle the end of a relationship? What about a foreclosure or your kid going off to college? To help us navigate these events, please welcome back to the show peak performance expert and best-selling author, Dr. Delatorro.
We need some Dr. Delatorro.
Miss you all. What's up?
We need you.
We miss you and we need you.
Thinking about you in Tampa. We hope you're okay, brother.
That's right. I do have to ask you about the hurricane. Are you doing okay? It made landfall earlier. How is it in Tampa?
You know what? We're doing pretty well. There's definitely flooding in certain areas, but we're doing pretty well. We're dealing with a lot of the flash flooding and a lot of the outer bands and things of that nature. But overall, we're doing well. My family particularly is doing fantastic. I'm actually teaching a 3-day seminar right now at a hotel, but we've all been blessed and well. The airport's been shut down. It was yesterday and today as well. So folks can't get in and out, but we're blessed considering all that's happened.
I love that take. Let me talk to you about grief. Everyone talks about the stages, but does that mean we all experience grief in the same way at some point?
Absolutely not, Tori. So here's the thing about grief, right? So grief is a very normal emotional response to loss. And loss happens in so many ways: job loss, financial loss, reputational loss, right? The loss of a loved one. So, and here's the thing, it's non-linear. People think, yeah, like you said, Tori, even though there's stages of going through the grief process, you could go from denial in the beginning all the way over to bargaining. Why can't we find a way to make this work? And then go back to anger and then jump down to acceptance, and then you're back in anger again. So it's a very non-linear process, and everyone's grief journey is different. And one of the things I love to encourage people to do is never compare pain. One person might have lost a loved one, but someone else might have lost a job that they've been in for 30 years. Mm-hmm. Someone else might have lost a business that they've had at a business partner for 20 years. So never compare grief and never compare pain. Pain is pain, grief is grief. We have to learn how to let the hurt, go through the process, because at the end of the day, if we're going to successfully thrive through grief, we have to pick an emotional home. Grief is something it takes a while to push through it. I lost my mother 10 years ago. I miss her every single day, fam. And I talk about her every single day in every interview and every podcast that I do and every keynote speech. So I think one of the things that we can do to help people get past grief is help them to understand, to find a positive meaning, find a positive outcome from what it is that you lost, realizing that ultimately, especially if you lost a loved one, while it was the loss of a loved one that might not have been planned or expected, what did the loved one gain as they transitioned? I know when my mom passed, she was in a lot of pain, right? She was in the hospital on a lot of machines, a lot of this. And sometimes, y'all, we can be selfish. We can want people to remain here with us, even though they're in very, very compromised positions on planet Earth that are very, very difficult to be around. So I had to take my focus off of my loss and put it on my mother's gain. And when I realized that my mom was going to be at peace, she wasn't going to be hurting, she wasn't going to be in the hospital anymore, it really shifted the way I processed the grief.
Beautifully.
So interesting that you're beautiful that you're talking about your mother, because when you're grieving, you can get into a downward spiral quickly. And like when I lost my dad, I don't even think I was aware that I was grieving. Like that wasn't even a concept to me. So I definitely didn't know that there were steps to get through it. So why don't you talk to the people watching about what are the steps that they can do to get through and past some of this grief?
Fantastic. A couple things we can do. We just spell out the word grief. We have to grow our resilience. We have to grow our resilience, our inner strength, our fortitude to bounce back from life's challenges. We have to rediscover our strength. You're stronger than you know and than you realize. You also have to insightfully reflect on the life and the legacy of the person that transitioned. Another thing I would encourage you to do is embrace support. Let people know that you're hurting. Let people know that you want to get away. You want to get out. You want to go have fun. You want to laugh. And then you also have to find an empowering meaning. What did that particular situation that caused the grief, what does that mean to my life? And if I can find an empowering meaning, I can shift into a higher gear, I can pivot. And although that grief happened to me, I ultimately realized that it actually happened for me, and I'm better off as a result of it.
Wow. Our reviewers are just applauding you. They love you, Dr. Delatorro. We love you. DBL Nation, you can actually get a copy of Dr. Delatorro's book, Shift into a Higher Gear. It is available now. Thank you. It's great to see you. Stay safe in Tampa, and we will have you back soon. Bye.
Later,
Bye, Doc.
Can't wait. Love you all so much. Appreciate it.
Love you.